Welcome back to another video. Adam Stalker with Joe Camilleri, and we're going to talk about the Heisman Trophy today and who the favorites are and who we think is going to win. We're going to start with the favorite in Vegas. That is Ohio State quarterback Braxton Miller.
I like Braxton Miller. He's my preseason pick to win the quarterback from Ohio State. Ohio State's going to have a solid team this year. I don't see them losing any games this year. I think they're going to go 12-0. I think Braxton Miller's going to have a big year. He's got some good complementary of wide receivers back again this year.
His top three from last year all return.
Yep, I think Braxton Miller, like you said, they're Vegas. I think they have him at 9-2 odds. I think he's the preseason and deserving as the preseason Heisman candidate leader.
The one thing to consider is that he likely has to go undefeated. A win could really tarnish his Heisman hopes. We move now to the only defensive player on the list, and that's Vegas' second favorite. That is Jadeveon Clowney, the South Carolina defensive end who has been all over the news for his hit on the Michigan running back where he completely knocked the helmet off the player's head.
I remember watching that game last year. I'm a Michigan guy. It was the bowl game last year. I remember watching that game last year. Clowney, he dominated that game. He's the highest ranked defensive player in the Heisman rankings right now. I think he's listed at about 6-1 odds. I don't know if a defensive player has ever won the Heisman.
It's Charles
Woodson, yeah.
But he played some offense.
So it's a very uncommon for a defensive player to win the Heisman. You look at the year that Manti Te'o had last year. He had a big year last year. A lot of tackles, a lot of interceptions. He didn't win. So
didn't really come close in the end.
Yeah, he wasn't close in the end. So it's going to be hard for Clowney to overcome those obstacles. But I think if anybody does do it, it would be him. I think you're going to need to get him to get anywhere from about 17 to 20 sacks.
I agree, because South Carolina is not going undefeated with Connor Shaw as their starting quarterback. I think Clowney's going to have to almost get 2 sacks a game to really be in consideration, or just be getting 6-7 tackles a game too. It's going to be tough for him to do. I don't like his chances. We move now to some quarterbacks. We're going to start with Louisville's Teddy Bridgewater. Louisville now in the American Athletic Conference, which appears to be one of the worst conferences in all of NCAA football this year. So I expect Louisville to go 12-0. That should definitely help his odds.
Well, that's what you said there. It's not a very, very good conference. It's a chance for Bridgewater to go out to light up some teams. He can get some big leads. Don't be surprised if he's playing late in the third quarter up with a good score, with a big lead. Just padding some stats. It's a good conference where you can go in there and pad your stats. 12-0 is not out of the question for them. I believe he is the highest rated quarterback to come out next year for the draft. Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah, as he stands right now, he's projected to be the first quarterback drafted.
Yeah, so look for him to have a big year this year. Again, he tips in at 9-1. $2 bet gets you $18-20. So it's not a bad bet right there.
And now we move to the defending national champions with A.J. McCarron, who's made as much headlines for his girlfriend as his play on the field.
I was just going to say, I think A.J. McCarron has a better shot at with his girlfriend than he does winning the Heisman. He's a definite long shot, I think, if you ask me.
I don't like his odds either at 10-1, especially when you consider that his teammate running back T.J. Yeldon at 14-1 he could get 125 yards a game. He could be in for a big year, at least 1,400 yards, I think.
Yeah, McCarron he'll have his yards, but he's a definite long shot to win the Heisman this year.
It's just too good a team to consider that one player.
That's right. There's too many
so dominant.
There's too many good players balanced over that whole team for one player to come out and stand out above everybody else. So I think that's going to definitely hurt him in the long run.
We'll go now to the Pac-12 and one of their best quarterbacks, Marcus Mariota of Oregon, who is a 12-1 favorite.
Well, the offense in Oregon is going to take a hit. Well, will it take a hit? That's the question. Without Chip Kelly, are they going to stay in the same structure that they had? They used to run the spread offense over there. If they stay with the spread offense, it opens up a lot of lanes possibly for the running back. It gives a lot of space through the middle if you spread out the defense. so that could be a negative against the quarterback.
Another negative is that they likely have to go 12-0 too.
Exactly. So
and he's also got his teammate DeAnthony Thomas, who returns, plays some running back, plays some receiver at 16-1, who may be a better bet than Mariota's.
Well, that's the thing with 16-1. Thomas, he's a good bet. Like you said, he plays several different positions. He can run the ball, he can catch the ball. You may even see him throw the ball at some point. So I think that only does good things for him being so versatile. So 16-1, again, $2 bet pays you 32-1, double your money on a $2 bet. You can't go wrong. I'd take that bet all the time. Invest $2 to win 32.
Let's head back to the SEC for a couple quarterbacks. We'll start with last year's Heisman winner, freshman Johnny Manziel. Had an amazing season, and does he have any shot repeating at 15-1?
I don't think so this year. Repeating as a Heisman Trophy winner.
It's only been done once by Ohio State's Archie Griffin.
Yeah, and that's many, many years ago. I don't think it's going to happen again this year. I think by the, you can look at the offseason, you're talking more about Johnny Football's actions off the field.
Drinking, partying, and going to just about every basketball stadium in the country.
Yeah, so I think he needs to just tone it down a bit, refocus. I'm sure the coaching staff there will have him all.
Kevin Sumlin, head coach of the Aggies.
I think it will. They got him. He's been out of the news the last week or so that's good. Once camps have opened now, they're getting ready for the first game of the season coming up this weekend.
Now we're going to go to Georgia, where they have one of the players I like at 14-1, Aaron Murray.
Aaron Murray, great player. I think, again, at 14-1 is a steal bargain there. Again, drop down a couple bucks. Can make a nice little profit off a $2 bet.
Yes, and he almost upset Alabama in the SEC championship game last year, a player that Tony Dungy really likes and would have taken very highly in last year's draft had he came out and Dungy was running a team. We'll go now to the ACC's top quarterback, Taj Boyd of Clemson.
He's a good quarterback, Taj Boyd. I think they run a nice little offense over there. It's designed to get a lot of yards. I think he will get a lot of yards, but I think he is definitely a long shot here.
Especially when you consider that Clemson likely has to beat Florida State and South Carolina, which is going to be a tough test for them. And then he's got his teammate Sammy Watkins, the explosive wide receiver, at 50-1, and also a Heisman candidate who can return and runs the ball a bit too. So that's going to only hurt his shots.
At the 50-1 shots, I think Sammy Watkins would be my pick. If I wanted to invest on a 50-1 long shot, I think I would go myself with Sammy Watkins.
We'll go now to Florida State's quarterback, James Winston, who many people are considering a man who could match Manziel's feat of being a freshman to win it.
Again, freshman to win. I don't think you'll see it 2 years in a row. This guy's a definite long shot. I like Florida State as a team. I think they're going to have a decent year, good year. I think they're going to be in the race come end of the season. But I don't like the chances for a Heisman Trophy going to Florida State this year.
And we'll talk now about the top wide receiver, Marquise Lee of USC, 22-1.
Marquise Lee, good receiver.
Unfortunately, new quarterback he's got to break in with Matt Barkley graduating and being drafted by the Eagles.
That's the thing. I like his chances better last year with Matt Barkley as a quarterback. This year with the new quarterback come in, you're going to need to get some consistency between the two. They're going to have, I think they're going to have a slow start. I think once the season gets going and they kind of gel together, I think you'll see the numbers pick up near the end of the season. But again, I don't see him being in the final runnings near the end of the season.
Let's head to Nebraska. Taylor Martinez, their dual threat quarterback at 25-1.
Taylor Martinez, good quarterback. He can run the option in Nebraska with the best of them.
He'd have to likely upset Ohio State though if he wanted to win it.
And I don't see that happening. I see Ohio State, like we talked about earlier in one of our earlier videos, Ohio State going 12-0. I don't see Taylor Martinez doing that again. I don't see him being in the final five, final four voters when they get down to the end of the year.
I'm going to head to Baylor now. Talk about Lockie Seastruck, who at 30-1 has already proclaimed that he's going to win the Heisman. He rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. Do you think he has any chance in the Big 12?
I don't think he has any chance to win the Heisman. The only chance I think he gets is if he rushes for 2,000 yards, not 1,000 yards. And I don't see that happening.
Though I do like his teammate Bryce Petty, the quarterback, who in that offense you can put up 350 yards a game easily.
Yeah,
And they got a good coach in Art Briles. And if they can manage to beat Texas and Oklahoma in those big schools, he could have a shot. RG3 won it with a 9-3 record.
Yeah, I don't see them beating Texas or Oklahoma. We'll talk about that in another video coming up when we do our Big 12 preview. But again, I don't see him being in there.
And another two Big 12 quarterbacks, I think, could pull a major upset. They don't have odds on Bodog right now. But that's Texas's David Ash and TCU's Casey Patchell. Patchell just got out of rehab and is returning to the team after a DUI. But when he was the starter for the beginning of the season, he put up huge numbers and was extremely good. He was putting up better numbers than Andy Dalton in his college career. And David Ash, I think the Longhorns could go undefeated this year, so that can only help his standing in the Heisman voting.
He'll need to have a big year, anywhere 11-1 area. But I don't see them being in the final voting. I think when you get down to it, it's going to be the guys we talked about at the beginning of the year. I think it's going to come down to Braxton Miller, Clowney, and Bridgewater. I think those are going to be your final three when it comes down to the end of it. I'm going to go on my prediction, like I said earlier. I'm going to take the favorite as it is right now, Braxton Miller. I think Ohio State goes 12-0 this year. I think Braxton Miller has huge numbers. He's going to be my Heisman pick preseason.
And I'm going to go a little bit lower in the odds. I'm going to take Teddy Bridgewater of Louisville. I expect Louisville to go undefeated. I think he's going to put up monster numbers and better his season of last year. And those are our Heisman picks. Subscribe to our video, like it, share it, or just leave a comment. Thank you.